Hello, everyone. This is Daisy X Machina, the drag queen detective who investigates all things speculative in science fiction, fantasy, and horror. And this is a Get Ready With Me where I put on drag makeup to film a video later today. And somehow I'm got caught. There we go. Okay. And Lynette is here. Yay. Thank you for being here, Lynette. And if anyone else is watching, please say hello. And as usual, how is everyone's reading going this week? For me, I finally finished, actually, I just finished like this morning, the second book in the three body problem, The Dark Forest. And it's an interesting read. I don't know if I'm going to read the third book, but I've had the same experience for both Three Body Problem and The Dark Forest. And that is like it's really difficult like the first quarter of the book, maybe, and then it starts picking up and I get interested, but the writing is just really dense for me. And it doesn't say anything about the author because of course this is a translation. I have no idea in Chinese how it would read. But in the translated version, very difficult for the first quarter. Then it starts picking up. But then around the 60% mark, there's this big twist. And that's what really keeps me interested. And, but it's a lot to get there. It reminds me of that plot formula, Kishi Tenketsu, which is a plot without conflict where everything revolves around the twist. And the twist is really good in both these novels. Um, and it kept me going to the end. But here's the thing. These are really depressing stories, and they're about the, end of humanity and our potential end of humanity. And I think I would enjoy it more if it was like a short story rather than a full novel. But for this second book, the whole premise, and this is a spoiler, by the way, but the whole premise of this universe is that we live in a dog eat dog universe where if you're a sentient species, every other sentient species will try to kill you because there's limited resources in the universe. And I guess eventually one supreme species will live. I wasn't really caring for that premise as the basis for how the universe works, that we're living in this dark forest where we're all predators and we're eventually going to try to kill all other species. It's just, I don't know, just not into it. I assume the third book, they're going to enlighten the universe or they're going to find some other species that aren't so cutthroat. But I don't know if I want to go there. I don't know. If you've read the third book, let me know. Um, but I guess it's just me and you, Lynette, which is fine. Let me know what you're reading. Oh, I did get a new keyboard. And that's what it sounds like. I wasn't meaning to get a new keyboard, but I saw this video on YouTube by this guy named Hippiotech. And the video I saw was a review about this water bottle that a lot of influencers are buying or promoting or sponsoring, or that has this scent, this ring of scent that's supposed to trick you into thinking the water is a different flavor. Anyway, Hippiotech reviewed it and said it was garbage. Thought it was very funny, but how YouTube is. Once you see one video, it starts recommending you all their other videos. And this guy really just does keyboard reviews. So stupidly, I started watching all these keyboard videos because at work I could just like listen to a video. And I just got into my head, oh, I just need another keyboard. And why not? Because I do so much work from home at my computer. Why not just get a good keyboard with a nice feel and sound instead of my $20 Logitech keyboard? And the first time I got a keyboard, uh, I returned it because it didn't have the function keys on top. And this one doesn't have, has the function keys, but it doesn't have the numpad. And I don't really use the numpad, except sometimes I'll use my thumb to hit the return. So I don't know if I like this keyboard without the numpad, but I would just get the numpad just for my thumb to hit the return button. Otherwise, it's a very nice metallic, it's really heavy aluminum keyboard. Anyway, I'm going on way too much about this stupid keyboard, which I wouldn't have gotten unless I got roped into this YouTube spiral. And the keyboard's like about $100. So, but the funny thing is, you can get like keyboards for like $200. You can get them like $600. I had no idea there's this whole community of keyboard enthusiasts. Yay, John Crow is here. Okay, you finished the book in The Great Martian War by Scott Washburn, set in 1910. Tesla and Edison make an appearance, and young Patton. I enjoy the Martian's POV. Is it like a dual POV? Pseudo documentary. Don't use the numpad. Hey, cool gamers here. Welcome, cool. Okay, let me throw some makeup on. I haven't really thought of what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do a blue lid, but I'm just going to go purple. I like purple. Actually, I'm going to start with a black on the sides. It's a dual POV. I don't know what a pseudodoc is. I assume it just means like presented like a documentary. Oh, talking about the three-body problem. I did finish watching the Netflix series, and I thought they did a clever thing of making this like, I think it was a 5-person friend group that sort of was a amalgamation of the different characters in Three Body, so it's easier to follow the storyline with a bunch of characters that sort of know each other, but they really veer far away from, not far away, but they really do a lot of restructuring the story to make it work as a TV series. I still think the TV series is kind of boring after all that. But I hope for the sake of the fans that they'll get a second season. I mean, I'd watch it. It's just not my favorite thing. There's this other show on Netflix or movie called Damsel with Millie Bobby Brown, who I really liked in the Enola Holmes series and, of course, in Stranger Things. And I don't think it's gotten really good reviews, but I thought it was okay. It's a fairy tale type fantasy with a dragon and a strong heroine. I thought it was too long. Excuse me. I think it's like 2 hours. I don't know why they don't make 90-minute movies anymore. I mean, that seems like it's a nice um, length of time for a movie. But now it feels like movies are going to like 3 hours as the normal length of time. Okay. So I'm going to do that thing where I start with the blue base and then put purple over it. Oh, and I'm continuing to watch Shogun. Was it my favorite episode this week? I'm not a huge fan when movies like rely or TV series rely on a lot of flashbacks. And this episode had a lot of flashbacks with Miriko. Still don't think the actor playing the lead is very charismatic, like Lynette said, but I do like the other actors, especially the guy that plays Tornado, the um, the Shogun. He was in this other show, this science fiction show. I think it lasted 2 or 3 seasons. The first season was really good, and then the second season not so great, and third season was. I hope I'm remembering it right, but it was like based on the movie The Thing, because it was like in Antarctica, and they were like doing this research. Um, Gosh, I really forget the name of the whole thing. Anyway, okay, you also finished The Ruby Princess, which is about a cruise ship that docked in Australia in early 2020. The passengers were allowed to leave and spread COVID. Oh, that sounds awful. So I assume that's nonfiction. Only of interest to Australians. Well, I'm sure it's interesting to other people. It's just, I don't know. On the History Channel a few years ago about First Nation sergeant who had translated the Martian language during an invasion of Europe circa 1912. Oh, interesting. Hey, Frank. Never would go on a cruise ship. I actually had a great time on a cruise ship. I went with my husband Dennis and his family. Got this. It was like a family cruise type deal. So me, the mom, the brother, Dennis, the niece. I mean, it's like being on a floating city, but I kind of liked it. I just kind of like being on a ship. You don't have to worry about anything. Um, like you can eat whenever you want, and I could just sit on deck and read. I don't know. I thought it was okay. I would do it again, actually, a cruise. But it's not for everyone. I understand that. That was on the History Channel. Longer movies on TV, more commercials. Floating petri dishes. My son's cruise was canceled in 2020 and took months for him to get a refund. That sucks. I don't think this book series is based on that new First Nation character. The guy who plays Tornado is great. Every time I hear about a cruise, it's only well. That's because it's on the news. If it's going to be on the news, it's not going to be a good thing. He's also the Last Samurai. I wish I remember what that series was with the Antarctic expedition. Maybe I could look it up real quick. I'll just let's see. Shogun actors. Hiroyuki Sanada is the actor's name. Because if you like speculative fiction, you'd love this series that I can't remember the name of. Well, he's in Western Helix. That's it. Helix. So let me see if my memory was correct with how many seasons. I think it's only 2 seasons. But anyway, highly recommend the first season of Helix. Yeah, 2 seasons. Okay, so now I'm going to go over this with purple, which will hopefully turn this blue into a really vibrant purple. That's the theory anyway. My wife and I went to Ensenada, had a great time. I will have to give Felix a view. Tom Cruise is in The Last Samurai. You know, I never saw it. Am I the only one that watches Drag Race here? Been watching the season 16 and the UK version. And as a default, we usually root for the Asian drag queens because there hasn't been an Asian winner in so long. And well, the only Asian winner was Raja, who is South Asian Indian. But there's never been like East Asian winner on Drag Race. And I thought for sure on UK versus the World, the Filipino drag queen Marina Summers was a shoo-in to win. I just knew she was going to win. You know, finally getting an Asian winner. She didn't win. So now I'm hoping for the new season of regular Drag Race that Nymphia Wind from Taiwan is going to win. I'm really hoping, but I have a feeling she's not going to win. So we'll see. Never go, what are we talking about? Mexico? What's wrong with Mexico? Dennis and I used to go to Puerto Vallarta like every summer for a couple years because a bunch of friends of ours would go. Bridge collapse in Baltimore reminded me of Tasmanians when the Tasman Bridge collapsed in 1975 after it was hit by a bulk carrier. Wasn't that wild? The bridge collapsed because another ship hit it. It's just unbelievable. Mexico is now becoming her. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it was just a couple days ago. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's a big, it's a big deal. A few days ago. Okay, so I know now it just looks like dark blue. It was supposed to be purple. So I'm going to go over it again. Okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm going to do a hey, that looks kind of cool. I like that. Okay, and I'm trying to find a really light one. Could have cost a couple billion to replace it. Everything is so expensive now. I mean, I'm sure you're right. There's a something called the Sphere that just opened up in Las Vegas. But and it's supposed to have like incredible acoustics, and it's a sphere auditorium with this like screen that sort of wraps around. But that thing costs like a couple $1 billion, and it's just like one little. It's not little, but one building. But it is cool. But I mean, how long is it going to be before they pay that thing off? And I did go there because I live in Vegas. I did go there to see the it's like a little 1 hour. I don't even know if it's 1 hour documentary to about planet Earth to sort of showcase the sphere. And it is pretty cool, but the seats feel like they're at such a sharp angle. They feel if you stand up, it feels like you're going to fall over. Um, so I don't know if I'd want to see a full concert there. I don't know. At the time our bridge collapsed, decided our city as the only other bridge meant a 90-minute commute by a bridge much further upriver instead of a commute about 3 minutes. We are still reeling over the fires from last year. The regulations and litigations are a big part of the cost. Yeah, I wonder how much the owners of the ship or the shipping yard is going to pay. A lot. One of the worst in Hawaii. 11 days before the Tasman Bridge disaster, the city of Darwin was destroyed by a cyclone. What a terrible year. Don't even like the idea of Vegas, but love that Pawn Stars show. Christmas Day. Oh my God, it's getting worse and worse, this story. But if you look up, so I was going to cut this with blue, so let's see how this goes. If you look up the Sphere in Las Vegas, you'll see what I'm talking about. It is kind of an interesting or cool building because the outside is a giant screen. Okay, so what am I doing? What am I doing? Let me do this. Hold on. I forgot to do one thing. I'm sure no one cares, but I wanted to do a little black to get this even darker. If you haven't seen my Shelve It or Shove It, I did pick a young adult book. Which I think is going to be a thriller, but I'm kind of still hoping it might be a horror with some supernatural or speculative element. But don't really have high hopes for that. I really kind of want to change to the floating hotel, but I've already picked Where Sleeping Girls Lie, so we'll see how it goes. And today I think I'm going to film the Shelve It or Shove It for next month. And I'm excited to see the book that Lynette is talking about. this is. I really should have started with eyeliner. Let's do that. They're here. Gotta go. Okay, thank you, Frank. All three may have been arson. I have a book to read, The Arsonist, which is about the guy who set fire back in 2009 that ended up killing 24 people. I haven't heard of that one. Is that in America? Okay. In Australia, lots of bushfires that day. 173 people killed. What? He started the Churchill fire. It's so upsetting hearing about people that do that. You have to wonder of the psychology of people that just want to set fire to things for. I guess just to watch things burn. I don't know. Okay. Alrighty, we're doing something. Okay, I think that's what we're going to do for the eyes. Just looked it up. He killed 10 people, not 24. He only received an 18-year sentence. He was charged with arson causing death rather than murder. Fires are only going to get worse, yep, due to climate change. I'm trying to decide on my next nonfiction book. It is either the book about the wife of John Gould, the bird guy, or a book about Nero. I'm still here. If you're still here, say hello. I'm just lost in my makeup world, trying to do something that's interesting looking. You know, the one book that I really want to read that's nonfiction is that one about John Campbell, the science fiction editor, Asimov, Heinlein, and L. Ron Hubbard. Because when I was researching my video about Heinlein or Asimov, I kept coming across that. And it seems very interesting. Oh, are you talking to me? Is here. Hey. And John is still here. Some people are just quiet. And I am just doing my chroma cake black. Chroma cake is basically water activated face paint. Okay. So here's where we're going with the eyes. And let's brush this off. All right. I have J. Michael Straczynski's autobiography on your TBR list. How interesting. Turn this off. Interesting read. Ava is here. Can you please bark? Why do you want someone to bark? Like a tree? Also, a book about father of Yeats, Wilde, and Joyce. It's called Bad, Mad, Dangerous to Know. Okay. So, okay. Oh, here in Vegas, we had this This wasn't like on the strip. This is more of a neighborhood thing. The tacos and tamales carnival fair thing, and had some really great food. But also, for the first time, I saw the what's it called? The Mexican wrestling, lucha libre, something. I mean, it was so darn fake, but it was hilarious. I think that's what makes it funny is just how fake it is and how so much of it relies on audience participation. Okay, just wondering, what are you up to, Ava? Have you been reading? Let me know what you've read. So many books and maybe only 20 years left. Hey, don't talk like that, Lynette. Come on. Okay. I think I'm just going to do a red lip. I often say that 50 Shades of Grey is in 50,001 on your wish list. I will need to reincarnate several times. Maybe you will. Never enough time. Yes, DK Moon. Okay, drain lips. Oh, a topic of discussion, my writing group, um, and I've been talking about a lot is how middle grade, by the way, doesn't mean middle school. Um, in libraries, they're usually called juvenile, but for books aimed at kids around 8 to 13, 12, 13, the reading's going down. It's like fewer and fewer books are being sold. And so is that a concern that just demographically we're shrinking, or does it mean people are actually reading less in that age group, which means that in 10, 15, 20 years from now, when they become adults, they're not going to read anymore? Is reading dying, a dying habit? I hope not. But that discussion is going on a lot in publishing for the middle grade market. Okay. Life really speeds by fast. Yep. And the older you get, the faster it goes, which sucks. Last 2 months really dragged for me, Lynette. Kids don't have time to read, only time for phones and video games. My son had trouble learning to read until he started playing adventure games such as Monkey Island. Nowadays, most adventure games have speech, yeah. Well, the one uh, type of reading material that does seem to attract that age group is graphic novels or comic books. And I know there are some amazing graphic novels out there, but I just haven't had a desire to pick them up. And it's funny because I used to be a big comic book reader. Hmm. Just gotta. Maybe older 20s kids too. Are you talking about 20-year-olds or people born in the 2000s? Loved comic books as a child, especially Richie Rich, Little Dot. My brother liked The Phantom. Printing and graphic novels is usually, yeah. Okay, so I do think I want a little bit of. Hmm. I want a little bit of white, but I do want. A little too much. By the way, I think lips are one of the hardest things to do in drag when you overline. Okay, we're just going to go with this. You know, I used to like reading the Archie comics too, as well as like Marvel and um, I wasn't big on DC until I was in college. Because then DC started having those dark horse, more adult themed comics. Okay. I was looking at a video about the new drag laws in some states. Totally ridiculous. The world is getting stupider and stupider. Tell me about it. And as you know, as much as I'd like to, I wouldn't like to, but as much as we can focus on it being anti-drag, it's really anti-trans. It's just people so upset of the idea of trans people that they're focusing on drag queens because drag queens obviously play around with gender expression. But drag queens get into drag to entertain people, and that's the bottom line. And if you don't like the art of drag, don't watch it. Okay. Sadly true. The internet has been bad for the world in some aspects, good in others. Yep. But there's no putting the proverbial genie back in the bottle. It's here to stay, the internet. I mean, the worst thing about the internet, I think, is it allowing people to sort of stay in their own bubbles of any social media platform reinforces what you watch, so you never really get exposed to any other points of view. And it gives you this sense of security that, well, everyone must think how I think because that's what's on social media. But it's only that little section of social media that is being presented to you. Okay, so this is purple with blue. And let's put on some jewelry. Wasn't sure what. This, or just, actually, I think I'm just going to put on some pearls. And the wig I got or the one I grabbed is Miss Doris. Because I think it looks like Doris Day. Probably should have grabbed a purple wig because I have, well, this is fine. I don't think there would be an anti-trans movement without the internet. It could be true. I look at other points of view. I have delved into the manosphere, including looking at some of Andrew Tate's ideas. Yipes. We need to know what we are facing. Love that wig. Yay. Thank you. Thank you, John. Yeah, I think these eyes turned out okay, if I do say so myself. Thank you, John. Okay, guys. So, oh, we did this fast, just a little over an hour. And yeah, today I'll be filming Shelve It or Shove It for next month because I will be, I'm always like a month behind. So these April books are for May. And so the April books will be, no, for March. Then the May books will be for April. That's right. Anyway, I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope to see you again next week. And as usual, may all the books you read be blessed.